Very well, let's take another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Show us reason why. There looks like an awful lot of blood. There. For some reason you disguised yourself there, as good Detective Goodman. Now, and entered the evidence room, though I don't know for what end. Yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and your coat, the white coat you're wearing, was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat? You couldn't draw or just walk out like that. So you hid your coat in the locker. Not bad, partner. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated you. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you're only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did, all of it. Alright. It seems the time has come. Judge, with that. This insult I threw at you. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. Stole the detective's idea and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. He managed to escape. I never knew which areas would be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. So, the supposed victim was really you? But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of large quantity of blood were found all over all over the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is that he is the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SO9 answered. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transfer that day. Not if I had anything to do with it. That incident is not over. But why did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into that evidence room? When a case is closed, only the case's lead detective can look through the evidence. Wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. St. Marshall wasn't sure. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I still... Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like it was Detective Goodman carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it, you felt... Oh, let's get it. And the detective's ID card? And the detective's ID card? Stole that the morning of the incident. So it really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report. I turned his ID card, I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's pocket. The ID found it. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint activated locker. Well, you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you would not have been able to open the... But if you could have... because that rubber glove just happened to... must have opened the locker before, Officer Marshall. No. Let's just say I was a little surprised. More than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in that short time. Officer Meekins is certainly a 1 in a million type person, mistaking a detective for an intruder, demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have you know, I'll have to think a little more about his race this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. As it turned out, with me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? You say you knocked off the Meekins out, eh? Escape Island. So did you research my head? Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. All had gone as planned. No footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was with it in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing at that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So, what you're saying is on that day... But the blood was found at the scene that indicates that the crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim showed up on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker? Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where's the evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one last thing? Far away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember. I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut to the salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason why the evidence room was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say is for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out. But there's one thing that still bothers me. Something went down in that trial, something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know, that's why I'm trying to figure it out. I see. I think his real reason is I think we'd want to see sooner or later. 50 years related to that case, and so I'm away. I'd better take him. Let me put these files here that, Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident files right here. The name Marshall is mentioned here. In a list of murder victims, Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you heard the name. 2 years ago. You received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? You must have been talking about the king of prosecutors. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right, he was killed. And the case fell into your hands. But what's your relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the deputy chief of police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That's all we were needed. Bless you. And he was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed, at least according to public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to it than that. There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to say at it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing is for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department of the car. That was the last day of the SL9 could be over. Not satisfied with it, Resolution Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him. They fought. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. Things that happened by chance never cease to amaze. Exactly the same time as the murder in the prosecutor office. A fake murder was going on in the police department. Chance? It's gotta be more than just that. So, if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor. Which in turn means there is only one person that could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lannister. But wait, a verdict isn't reached in yesterday's... Oh. Which is why we examined the police departments today. But the only reason the defendant got convicted yesterday was there was yet to remain the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me the boys got the jaw on your partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. A sole murder. Prosecutors. The only suspect is Lana Scott. And the testimony of one Lana Scott, Miss Angel Star, is completely incontestable. If our response, make it a single word or less. Ah! I rest my case. Dramatic bout. It seems that the trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder at the security camera tape really was a fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now, the time of the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. Hold it! I said hold it! Your Honor, wait! Emma? The defense hasn't objected. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright? Are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? Sense. Please forgive me, Your Honor. All I'm asking for was a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Dodark killings. Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky and his sister were in that file. But when that's what I figured it out. I mean, Officer Marshall was trying to do it that day, so I knew that the fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing with the other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on the ticket? But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So, I ran over there and looked at it again. So, did you find anything? No. Huh? Sorry, I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Is that all? Please Please, don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. But, Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. Me? Oh, boy. What? Time's up, Mr. Wright. Any reason to just... This? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry. Still, there must be something wrong with it. Answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all the... I know what it is! The most obvious solution! This clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems like seems clear is that you're grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Please tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, it is. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing! Something crucial! Missing? You mean that something hasn't been drawn on it? Yes, something that, when drawn, would completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Let us pray the defense isn't to waste goodbye time. Very well, Mr. Wright. There'll be something I can use. Question is, what? The obvious blue badger in that room! Why would you bring up that piece of plywood? The blue badger, the mascot of the police force, defender of truth, the guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Wright. Please look at the floor plan. The blue badger is not here, so we put him here. Well, what? Gasp! That's right. So long as the blue badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot in the lock. What? What, partner? So that means, what does exactly does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker? Don't look at me, I'm just protecting the law. Mr. Wright, don't think about it scientifically, Emma. On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the blue badger to the evidence room, right? Did he put it down? Means the blood mark would have left before the blue badger was spotted. What? Just one moment. I will not be allowed such a full-fetched, balderdash in my... May sound far-fetched, Your Honor, like a Pokemon, but the only possible explanation. On February 21st, the police department's evidence room the blood was spilled not once but twice. But how? One time was captured on the security Emma. Yeah, Officer Meekins cut his hand. The other time, nobody saw. Nobody saw. One blood prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been. Detective Goodman was when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurdity. The murderer portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. Then, assuming this murder, your point really happened. So where did it take you? I demand you show evidence. To summarize, the defense claims that the prior to Officer Meekin's cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman. That's right, the blood mark. Very well then, tell us. Proof must be said. There's only one piece. Inside the evidence room, when the killer would have entered it, do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card? Oh, the ID! Officer Meekins brought the blue badger and panel into the evidence room at, see here, 4:50. The crime took place before that time, so it would be 4:40 p.m. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, my boy. Drop the act, witness. It does not take a lot to figure out it could have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear the luminol from the test that the blood was there. Besides, I don't wear gloves. However, when the second true crime took place, Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Whoever had that 77777 1, 2, 3, 4. The 7 sevens. Look, talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. And that's the only possible explanation. He went with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. The 7-7 man! We're calling him the 7-7 man. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. And I mean now! Find out who is the 7777777. That's 1, 2, 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 77777. The 7 sevens belongs to somebody with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We do not have the authority to research onto it here. But that's ridiculous. Just how? Not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's only one situation we could have that. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted, an official charge, you're luck, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries, that's how prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. And I will have you arrested for your crimes. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. And you will be arrested. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask you a question. Yes. No, not you. To her, the defendant, and over there. Your own little executive. Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked her up and her ID up, and it's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I do ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SL9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years, did you really use legitimate evidence? Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was charged with the prosecution for that charge. At the time, occasionally we felt powerless enough, though. At least I did. Lana! I became prosecutor in order to suppress crime and before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, what do you say? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look at me, an investigator in this crime, and tell me that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why don't you give him an answer? Drastic crimes require drastic. That's the way it is, and we did what we had to do in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana, even if it involved forging evidence. See, that's what I'm talking about. No. No! Order! To be continued. Edgeworth was never the same. See you all in the next video.